Hello there. So since I last spoke, there were two things I needed to learn and fix about this motorhome. So the first thing was the power. So that turned out to be a me problem. The extension cord that puts the power into the van, I needed to push it in even harder than I was doing, and it needed about 1 more millimeter of contact, and then it was all working. So that was a relief, because it meant that I could have things like heating and a microwave and a whole heap of other things that only run on 240 volt, which is also an interesting thing in comparison to the boat, because obviously I've got everything running off 12 volt or through the inverter. There is no inverter on this van, and in fact the battery is quite small, so the battery only lasts overnight, really, maybe a little bit longer, which really ties the van to being in van parks where you can get access to electricity. Because the other thing is that the extension cord has a 15 amp ground on it, and you can't just plug that into a 240 volt house socket. So this particular setup, it's good to know about that stuff, because it means that this particular setup is very much built for going in between caravan parks, which is a very expensive way of being if you want to live as opposed to just tour. The other thing that happened was the cassette toilet and the wastewater. So I won't go into detail for decency's sake, but it was not working, and I haven't used these before, so I went to the drop point and tried to empty everything, and I emptied the cassette and so forth, but there was still a problem. So I ended up having to go back to the branch to get that fixed, and they fixed it, and then I cleaned up when I got back here. So now that there's water, there's gas, there's plumbing, and there's electricity, and I'm on top of all of those things, I feel a lot more confident about heading out of Sydney. So I will be doing that in the next couple of days. But for now, it's the weekend. For the first time in ages, the sun is out. I've got the windows open, the doors open, so you can have some fresh air. And I'm just going to relax and have something nice to eat tonight. Cheers.